I'll bet you forgot about this thing, didn't you? Well, I didn't. It's been here the whole damn time. The whole time it's been here. It's been hiding in the booth. Try to keep up, would you? So what happens here, and why I'm in the predicament that I'm in, is on account of nothing is what it appears. Honestly, and oh, look at that. Seems here. And I mean, it really honestly isn't. Did I say I was being honest? Because that's the honest truth of it. Everything is, I do that a lot, hey? Son of a bitch. If everything went according to plan, if you brought me a truck, a car, a motorbike, a wheelbarrow, a bread box, a mailbox, whatever, and I says, it's going to take me about 200 hours, give or take. Even if that jumps, sometimes that might wind up being 170 hours, even if that jumps up to 240, 250 hours. If that's what it wound up being, then I would be able to plot a course. But I can't plot a course. I'm all over the place. I'm the Titanic dodging shit. I might be not quite as big as the Titanic, but I'm pretty close. I'm a sizable fella. But everything doubles in size. You know what I'm saying? By the time you're done, this truck, way more work to this thing than the owner presented me with. Should we say it that way? And I mean, it's more work than he thought it was. They always are. Just about everything comes in, if I tell you it's 200 hours, well, Christ, it's probably going to be 350 or 400 hours. Because by the time we peel the bread back and have a look at the meat and cheese in there, well, it's usually pretty shitty meat and cheese, and you don't always see it coming. That Chevelle, I mean, I can see coming what's there. It'll be fairly, I mean, it's going to be a long process, but like I say, this truck ain't nowhere near as good as the owner thought that it was. And then by the time I got paint cleaned off and got stripping it down, well, it was way worse than I thought it was. Well, that adds a lot of time to it. And that shit started happening to me 15 years ago, and it's still happening. So where I'm at, and what I mean by I got myself in a bad way, is you talk to people. I talk to people. Sometimes talk to people. I usually don't like talking to people in general, but people that have got vehicles I talk to. And so you tell them, let me just stumble around a little bit. You can't just keep putting people off all the time. And this guy, as well as the Firebird dude, as well as the Chevelle guy, everybody, I'm assuming they're going to stick to it because everybody's pretty much singing the same song. They're not in a panic for it. They're not in a hurry. Get it done when you can get it done. I realize you got a lot of work to do. Well, I hope that's true, because that's the only reason that I have as much work in here as I have, is because they're all pretty good, seem like good people. And I mean, you just gotta, you can only say not yet, not yet, not yet so many times before somebody's going to start to wonder, well, what the hell are you even talking to me for if you can't do it? Well, it's not always my fault that I can't get to it right now. I'm one guy over here. See anybody else? Hello? No, I'm just one guy over here. One guy can only do what one guy does, for the most part, generally. And again, I'm not bitching. I usually work probably about 6 days a week. They're not all, like I don't work 10-hour days. Dead honesty, a lot of days the guy doesn't even get 8 hours in. Some of of a bitch. So what I was getting at, as maybe the old saying goes, all the chickens have come home to roost. The chickens roost? Well, yeah, and so I got way too much work here, and like I say, hopefully everybody is as forgiving as they say that they're going to be, because it's all going to take a while. But like I said, at some point, you just want to do what you said you were going to do. Like I said, I ain't moaning about it, and if I am, well, I certainly I'm not doing it on purpose. It doesn't really seem right that I could complain about it on account of, with the way our world is going these days, being where I live, it's a real possibility that sooner than later everybody's going to run out of money. And it ain't going to be because everybody's spending it all, it's just going to disappear, because that's the world we live in. And it sucks. It's a big bummer. Flat spot. So what I got to do is I got to get in here. So I'm going to start, there's a bunch of dents to be worked out of this thing, and going to do some body work on it here in the next day and two, and squirt primer at it. I got a bunch of shit to do in here. Oh yeah, I put a roof in this thing. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I got quite a bit of work to do here. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right? Right. Come on over here, would you? You're gonna have a tough time finding an old truck that the box hasn't ricocheted off the cab. Actually, you know, I should get you in here and look at this, because all this, everybody's talk. I'm not even going to restart the argument. All I'm going to say is, there's filler here, there's filler there, there's filler there, there's filler in numerous spots on this cab that have been on this cab since 1980 something or other. It's in fine shape. Look at that, it ain't brown under there. Everybody who says that filler causes rust, the hardeners, the catalysts and whatnot in the filler makes it rust. I'll go down slow. What color's that? What color's that? Looks pretty silver to me. I don't know if I got very good access in there. Not bad. You gotta love seeing the little holes drilled in there, hey, from somebody giving her the old screw puller in the back in the day. Was that inappropriate? I think it probably was. Oh, these 100-year-old dollies are just, that's a cat's ass. Is this psychobabble? I think maybe it is. It's tough to get in there. I don't know if that's going to do it. Better. I apologize if this is really loud. Nothing I can do though. Use what you got and use what works, would you? Would you? I got some little knuckles in here. I don't know if they show up there. Pretty good little wrinkles. It's in a pretty tight little area there. and I want to push them out from the inside. Can't get a hammer on them. Don't want to use a don't want to use a screwdriver, flat or otherwise, because it's going to give it pimples. It's going to give it a bunch of little, little boners in a blanket. You don't really want the boners in a blanket there, because when I go over it with the grinder again, chances are pretty good I'm going to take the tips of them boners off. So I don't want to do that. So this has got a pretty nice edge on it. It's rounded on the corners. It's pretty small. I should be able to get it up in there. Give her some of that business. I find when I'm doing something like this that if it's got a couple little holes like that head in it, that you're better off, I'm better off, to try to do whatever you got to do, your hammering and dollying and whatnot a little bit there if you can before you weld those holes up, because as soon as you weld those holes up, it's going to make this corner a little bit harder. The steel's going to get harder, and harder is harder. It'll be harder to do your hammer, you're smashing and banging. You want to be careful when you're going over old work like this, because you don't know how much they ground it. And I mean, in an area like this, where it's a cab corner like this is pretty thin to start with. I mean, this might have started out as 18 gauge, but by the time they stamped it and stretched it around, they pulled that around, that's probably 20, 22 now around that corner, maybe. I don't know. It's been pulled and stretched though, so it's not as thick as you might think. And if they've already ground the shit out of it, well, there ain't much left now. Usually that's why I use air tools to do all this stuff. Because if you use an electric tool where you pull the trigger, you're going. But with an air tool, you can dumb it down a little bit. So I'm not ripping everything out of there, because everybody's already ripped it out of there once. I'm the last guy to the party. The nice thing about all my surfaces here being in 80 grit on the steel is it's pretty smooth. So you can feel it, And you can you got a pretty good, if there's a dent there, there's a dent there. If this was finished up in 5 grit, you wouldn't be able to, you'd have no idea. Like here where I just ground, that's 50 grit. And now when this was smooth, there was a very prominent dent there. Now that it's in 50 grit, it feels like it's half of what I know that it actually is. Ooh, and there's a welding burr. Anytime you're doing this, anytime I'm doing this anyways, and I'm rubbing her up like this and I come across little welding burrs, scrape them off of there. Because if you're not going over this surface again, and then you prime it, you don't want to prime over a little welding burr like that. So yeah, find them and get them off of there. Get off of there, you dirty bastards. So I've had quite a few comments of people saying to just come out and turn the camera on and record myself working. I don't know if that's anything anybody wants to see, but I guess I'll see by this video. This is kind of a test, I suppose. And if anybody watches more than a minute and 22 seconds of this video, well, because I can't always be this work, this auto body work is bullshit, and it's very repetitive. And you can just assume it's very repetitive. It's the same thing over and over, because that's what repetitive means. And I don't know how. Some of a bitch I stammer around a lot. I'm even annoying myself. It's like I said to my wife, I said, like a little over a year ago, said, I don't know if it'll go because I don't really do enough, regular enough, man, that's soft, to, I'm glad there's no bodywork in there. Just jump around, would you? I says to my wife, I don't really know if anybody's really going to want to watch what I do because I don't do enough shit. Any of the successful, near as I can tell, channels, and by successful, I don't necessarily mean the guys who are making $100,000 a year doing it, because I don't know if anybody really does, except for the old Vice Grip Garage guy. I'm sure he probably does, but he's a busy son of a bitch, though. Anyways, I don't really know that I do enough to make it worth watching. You know what I'm saying to you? Because it's always the same shit. I mean, what I'm doing on this, well, at some point, I'm going to be doing the same thing on that Chevelle. I've already done it on that Firebird. There's countless cars coming in my near future that I'm going to be doing the same thing on. It's the same shit all the time. Do you want to watch the same shit all the time? If you do, I'll keep videoing it, and I'll keep stammering on and not making a point with anything I say. But see, that was 45 seconds of your life you're never going to get back. But this roof was, it was patinaed when I got it, meaning it was all surface rusty. So I lightly blasted it. You can do that if you got some time. Like you can blast a roof, because I blasted this roof skin. I mean, it was all brown and it was surface rusty. And I don't know if you ever seen it, but it's not anymore. It's all silver now, and I didn't warp it. Oh, now I just lost what you're looking at. What are you looking at now? Here, let's go back here. Here, how's that grab you? Right by the boo-boo? That's a Cheech and Chong reference. Grabbed you right by the boo-boo. But anyways, in the way that it is, because of the way that it was, I couldn't really find dents on it. I didn't spend a bunch of time looking either, because a lot of them I didn't want to try to work a dent on it because it's such a big floppy panel that I didn't want to take a chance on trying to do some hammering and dollying on a dent and maybe stretching the metal a little bit and then just taking the whole panel away. I wanted to lock it down around the circumference with the welds first to hold the, to lock it down, basically. I don't know if that makes sense to you. That's what I done. So, but now that it's locked down, now I see that I got a couple, actually a couple of good ones. I probably would have found that if I was looking for it. So we'll do some fixing. For anybody who's wondering, maybe you're curious, I don't know, maybe I just need something else to babble on about while I'm doing this. Where I'm at on this thing, so this truck, I believe I put something out, a video out on this thing when I first got it, pretty close to it anyways. And it come to me as a truck. On the chassis, no motor tranny in it, no interior in it. I stripped it down. First thing I did was I aligned, the box and the cab didn't fit together with a shit. And it took me quite a while to move stuff around, shim this, try to push that around to get the box and the cab. Like to get the body lines and shit lining up, because on these trucks they got lines that shoot from the tail lights right up to the headlights. And when the thing's driving down the street, if all them lines are doing this, well, it's going to look like one of them things in the hospital. And I don't like that. So it took me a little bit of time to get that lined up. But I done that, and then sheet metal alignment, gap and whatnot. Fit the front fenders, had new front fenders, fit the front fenders to it. If you're using one of these, don't always go at it like you're pulling on something. You know what I'm saying to you? Sometimes it just needs a light coercion. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, fit the gaps up, and then stripped all the paint down. Tore it all apart, done a bunch of sandblasting. What else have I done so far? I have done cab corners, I've done rocker panels, I have built corners on the inner door frames themselves. Plus I have repaired outer corners of the doors, welded up numerous holes, put patches in the floor, I've put patches in the firewall, I've welded in cab supports underneath it. Oh, I changed it from a high hump to a low hump. Had to repair the low hump before I could put it in. Oh, I filled a sunroof hole on the inside because it had a sunroof. So I've welded a panel on the inner roof, plus I've reinstalled an outer roof skin on it. Holy shit, what else have I done? Anyways, up to that point, and everybody's in bare steel now. The box is over there, it's bare steeled as well. I still have some rust work to do on the box and some dents naturally to pull out of the box. But at this point, I am just shy of 200 hours into this project. So, so if anybody out there is wondering, I mean, I get it, you haven't seen everything I've done and you haven't seen every minute that I've worked on it, but to get something to this point, How much somebody charges you per hour, I don't know. But it's taken me 200 hours so far, just shy of 200 hours. Is that good or bad? Can't say. Don't know. There may be a lot of people that can do it a lot quicker. There may be people that can do it better. But that's where I'm at. Somebody's done some mediocre metal work to this thing in the past. In the very recent past. Hey, what are you looking at? Here, let's do this too. Holy jumpins. That's what I'm talking about. I've been watching this holy jumpins. It's wrapped around me like a snake here. I hate crocheting with my airline. I've been watching, actually I don't watch them near as much anymore. Started watching this channel, and it's a new channel of a guy, and I'm not going to say who it is, and I'm not going to say what he's doing. I'll say kind of how he's doing some of his stuff, but I ain't saying what he's doing. Because I did that once, and I deleted the video because the comments just started blowing up, and Jesus, son of a bitch. So, this dude, he's doing a whole bunch of work on an old car. And he's doing some serious work to this old car. And so he does he's been doing his videos where he'll talk to you a little bit, and then he'll say what he's going to do, and then he pauses the camera, and then he comes back after it's done. Says in his videos that he's getting a whole lot of comments of people saying, show your work, like show us what you're doing, we want to see what you're doing. So he says, okay, so I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, he shouldn't be showing you what he's doing, because holy jumping Jehoshaphat. The dude is taking this old car, and he's taking rusty, shitty old panels and welding them onto rusty, shitty old panels to make a full panel, like taking chunks of panels to make full panels on the car. And then he's grinding his welds, sort of, and then he's flinging body filler all over it. And so he's showing himself doing this, and he's flinging body filler over top of, what year is the thing? 72-year-old paint. He's applying filler over top of, and over top of surface rust, and then over top of welds that he's barely ground enough weld to knock the top off. So it's still got the ridge of black oxidization on either side of the weld. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever welded, you kind of know what I mean, that it gets in there. That's going to fail. I guarantee you that's going to fail. That oxidization that's already on that weld, that's going to give you a barrier, and then that's where you're going to see that bubble around a panel that's been put in. That's why you see that kind of stuff, because the surface was not prepped well before. Anyways, I mean, that's the least of his problems. Like I said, I was watching him because it was interesting, and then he started showing how he was doing it. Because before, he'd go from this to next it had body filler on, and he's rubbing it saying, well, I got this all filled out now, and I think I'm going to put some primer on it. And then it's primed. Well, are you even sanding it before you prime it? Like, holy shit, what the guy's doing. Son of a... So I don't really watch him much anymore. I pipe in there every now and again to see, see where he's at with it, because it's a hell of a thing he's doing. But yeah, holy hell. If you're not catching your grinder on stuff and shit's going south on you every now and again, well, are you even doing anything? I'm not trying to clean rust out of there. I just can't get in there well enough with a tool to be happy with it. So there. Take that, you son of a bitch. So I don't know. Should I do more videos of just working? What do you think? I don't know. See, to me, it's kind of boring, but I mean, I do it all the time, and I don't really like it anymore in the first place. So that's like, I don't really watch channels where people just do this. I watch more I don't know. It doesn't matter what I watch. But like, I mean, shit. I could put, like, I work every day. I could put a video out every day if people just want to listen to me babble on incessantly about nothing and shoot sparks around and stuff. But to me, I think that would get kind of monotonous and boring, wouldn't it? I know there's a lot of channels that they do that. That's all they do nowadays is they try to put a video out every day. So 3/4 of their content now, they used to be a good channel when they just did a couple videos a week, but now that they're trying to do it every day, I guess to make more money, 3/4 of their videos now are just, I mean, just nothing. I suppose if I did this stuff and I edited it on a computer and stuff and used a GoPro, then I could have the old helmet cam and you could be, but I don't do that. I don't do that because I can't do that because I don't know how to do that. And I'm not going to learn how to do that because I'm not smart enough to do that. I work on cars for a living, remember? I'm really not that smart. Smart. SMRT. I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to wrap her up because it's not really going anywhere anyways. So I guess that's it. And if nobody watches this, then I probably won't do any more videos like this where I'm just rambling on while I'm working. So that's it. Cut, wrap. That's a wrap, print.